Hello, my name is Abigail Granados, and I decided to do my presentation on tetanus, also known as lockjaw. So, how does tetanus affect the cells? Well, according to Britannica, once it has entered the body, the toxin rapidly spreads by way of the bloodstream or directly by a nerve to the central nervous system, where it attacks motor nerve cells and excites them to overactivity. And right here, I went ahead and included a picture of a tetanus infected cell. So what are the early symptoms of tetanus and what does it do? According to Mayo Clinic, signs and symptoms begin gradually and progressively worsen over 2 weeks. The symptoms begin in the jaw and it then works its way down the body. Symptoms may include painful muscle spasms and stiff, immovable muscles rigidity in your jaw, tension in muscles around your lips, sometimes producing a persistent grin. Painful spasms and rigidity in your neck muscles, difficulty swallowing, rigid abdominal muscles. And right here, I went ahead and included a picture of a man who has lockjaw. So more about tetanus. According to Johns Hopkins Medicine, tetanus is sometimes a fatal disease of the central nervous system. It's caused by a poison, toxin, made by tetanus bacterium. The bacterium usually enters the body through an open wound. Tetanus bacteria lives in soil and manure. They can also be found in human intestine and other places. It is scary to know how easily we can catch this infection if we are not being precautious or have the tetanus vaccine. The bacteria can even be found inside of our bodies, which is very scary. So, how can you get tetanus? Well, according to the CDC, tetanus is an infection caused by bacterium called Clostridium tetani. The spores of tetanus bacteria are everywhere in our environment. They can be in soil, dust, and manure. Spores will develop into bacteria once they enter the body. Tetanus can enter through broken skin, usually from injuries from contaminated objects. They infect certain breaks in the skin, which include wounds contaminated with dirt, poop, feces, or spit, saliva, wounds caused by an object puncturing the skin, puncture wounds like a needle, burns, crush injuries, or injuries with dead tissue. And right here, I included a picture of a person walking on a wooden plank. As we can see, there are some needles poking up from the wooden plank. And this person is not wearing any shoes to protect their feet. So this person is at high risk of getting tetanus. So who is most likely to be infected? People who do not have their tetanus vaccine can be at a very high risk to get tetanus. People who also chose not to receive their 10-year booster are high at risk of getting tetanus as well. According to the CDC, most reported cases occur in adults. From 2009 to 2017, more than 60% of the 264 reported cases were among people 20 through 64 years of age. In addition, a quarter of those reported cases were among people 65 years or older. As we can see, the age group that is most high at risk of death from tetanus is 65 years of age or even older. It is It also goes on to share how diabetes, use of immunosuppression, and intravenous drug use may put you at a higher risk of tetanus. So how are diabetics at higher risk of tetanus? According to migrantcoalition.org, diabetics are 3.2 more likely to contract tetanus than non-diabetics. The mortality rate for diabetics is 44%, and the mortality rate for non-diabetics is 28%. That is a very big difference, 16% to be exact. Almost 30% of the diabetic patients had chronic wounds rather than punctures or cuts. Tetanus prevention. According to the CDC, vaccination and good wound care are important to help prevent tetanus infection. Also, doctors can help prevent you from getting tetanus with medicine after getting seriously hurt and you do not have your tetanus vaccine. Immediate and good wound care can also prevent infection. Don't delay first aid or even minor non-infected wounds like blisters, scrapes, or any break in the skin. Wash hands often with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand rub if washing is not possible. Consult your doctor if you have concerns or need further advice. And this was all written by the CDC. And right here, I included a picture of someone getting their tetanus vaccine. So, is tetanus a huge issue in the United States? Well, according to the CDC, reported tetanus cases have declined more than 95%, and deaths from tetanus have declined more than 99% in the United States after 1947. Tetanus has been declining since the 1900s and continues to decline, especially with the routine of vaccination, children, and giving adults the boosters to stay protected from this horrible disease. Health officials conduct surveillance to monitor any incidents or populations that may be at high risk of tetanus. And right here, I included a graph to show that incident rate of tetanus. So, conclusion in conclusion, tetanus is a very dangerous infection and can often be fatal. That is why we need to always make sure we receive our tetanus vaccine and our 10-year booster, so that way we can be safe from catching the infection. Tetanus can be contracted in many ways. Whether you step on a dirty needle or you cut yourself and get dirt inside the wound, it can even be inside of your intestine. That is why we need to always be washing our hands or cleaning our wounds, even if it may be a small scrape that looks harmless, because it can always lead to something worse. And here is my works cited. Thank you for watching my video.